An early model, Tesla Model S, had caught on fire in China for no apparent reason whatsoever. There is about 15-second security camera footage that was kind of shot from the monitor. Anyway, I will show you the footage, but let's talk about if this is really something that could have happened. Is it staged? There's also another brand in China that also had a car caught on fire for what it also looks like no apparent reason. So let's compare those two stories, and we'll do all of that coming up next. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric! Welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, there's a subscribe button down there, so click on that, and that way you will become a part of this amazing community. By the way, looking on my demographics for this channel, it looks like most of you should get this reference. All right, if not, Google the song lyrics. But most of you should get it. And as you can see, this is a very weird story because, and I'll show you the video in just 1 second. Tesla in China, just sitting in there in the garage, kind of had the smoke start coming out of it and just kind of almost exploded and caught on fire. There have been reports about Tesla's catching on fire for no reason. Not too many. And but the weird thing is there's another brand, NIO, that I talk about a lot on this channel, also had their car caught on fire because, as you know, they are producing their ES8, the all-electric SUV in China. Over 10,000 been made. So it's quite weird. So let me show you the video real quick, and so you be the judge. So here we go. As you can see, nothing's happening. And look at the car. See how it starts to smoke from everywhere and kind of then blows up? And then the fire starts kind of all over the place. And make sure, look at how it's in the front and the sides of the car. And then it just kind of burns. So again, the video is kind of crappy because it is from like the security camera's monitor that they're shooting with another camera. Like this is not even the actual footage that there are there. So okay, so let's talk about this. First of all, you know, we've seen other fires, even on video, right? When right after Tesla gets in an accident, there's a helicopter, a news helicopter gets on the scene. And what we see when there are explosions is that, you know, they're not like tank bomb explosions, right? They're explosions of separate parts of the battery pack with kind of batteries kind of flying out of there. Now, you could kind of see maybe something like that in the beginning of that video, but from what I understand, usually those batteries don't start flying out of there until there's actual fire. So the fact that happened underneath it before that is kind of weird. Let me show you the video again, but not after. So see how the smoke comes out and almost immediately there's some sort of an explosion, right? And I don't see any batteries kind of flying out at any point. Obviously, the video is not that long. Now, this just does not look like a battery fire, right? It's, you know, usually if the batteries ignite, then it takes a while for them to heat up. That smoke probably would have been coming out there for a while, maybe not that evenly on all three sides. And I'm not really sure about this big explosion. Again, we couldn't really see it because it happened really quick and it kind of blinds the camera. But it just doesn't, you know, the explosions are really not that big. Again, it's really hard to tell because we've never really seen that many different footages of electric cars, you know, exploding like that. But from what I've seen in the pictures and the videos, you know, this does look a little odd. But can this happen really in the real world? I think so, especially in China. I'll tell you why. And let me also tell you about what happened with NIO. Before that, of course, I want to mention that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byte. And check out the all-electric M Byte starting at only $45,000. And they're coming here in the United States and Europe. Check out the 48-inch shared display there. And that's out of one of 5 displays that they have. Make sure to reserve yours today at byton.com because the line is over 50,000 reservations worldwide. You can also browse in the description of this video and find that link there. All right. So before I'll tell you why this could technically happen, and maybe this is not the case, but it could. Also, NIO, that makes this ES8, as I mentioned before, they reported, and there's unfortunately no video. I tried to look for the video, but it's kind of hard because with the Chinese video sites, we don't really kind of have a connection there. So I just couldn't find it today, but it was reported that the car was being fixed or serviced at the shop and it kind of caught on fire. Now that's a different circumstances, of course, because people are, fixing it, and it's obviously not in a drivable and it's definitely in a vulnerable position there. So we don't know. Obviously, they will investigate that. I am pretty sure it will be connected to the actual repairs or maintenance. But again, I don't want to rush to judgment. But nevertheless, that also happened, and it also happened in China, kind of in the same week. And it is definitely it's definitely a little bit odd, but okay. But let's get to this. Car fires happen all the time. Gas cars go on flames all the time. Somehow nobody talks about it every time a Tesla, especially, but any electric car catches on fire, everyone's like, see, they blow up all the time. No, they don't blow up all the time. As a matter of fact, I think it's like 1 to 7. I mean, the number of people that died in car fires versus car fires and electric cars, it's just stats are definitely in favor of electric cars. But how could this happen? Now, if you guys remember, and I'm just feel free to offer your explanation, but something like this can happen where the car battery gets damaged at some point, right? And maybe it doesn't really ignite right away. Maybe just heats up to a point where it's kind of a slow burn, and then starts the fire again. Because remember some of those accidents where there would be a fire, it would be put out, the car would be transferred to the wrecking yard or a body shop. So the fire department is like, okay, it's all good, and then like a day later it will ignite. So something like this can possibly happen if the car strikes something on the road, and it just starts that slow process that later on results in something like this. Again, looks a little fake, but it is possible. Now remember, in the early days, 2012 and 2013, I remember because my first Tesla was 2012, there was no major protection underneath those cars, and that's why there were 2 or 3 instances when they caught on fire. Immediately Tesla, when striking something on the road, I should add that, then Tesla immediately started putting the protective shields retroactively and moving forward, and all of them have it now. Now, is it possible that this is one of those cars that just, sometimes people don't go back to the service center to do the recalls and stuff like that? Could it be that it's one of those cars that ended up in China somehow, maybe before they started selling them there without the shield, and therefore that's what happened? And again, I'm not really trying to even go after this specific case. In generally speaking, it is possible there some cars are still driving around without those shields installed because the owners never got to it, and maybe they sold the cars to the next owner and they didn't really know about it, and it can still happen. But again, don't forget, it doesn't happen as often. It happens with obviously gas cars for obvious reasons. Let me know what theories you might have about it. I'm not really that alarmed, but it did happen with NIO, so something to obviously be aware of and keep our eye on it. And obviously I'm looking forward to the results of the investigations. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to our VIP list, the exclusive content that we deliver every week that you can't find here on this channel or on our website. So check that out. And I also want to give a quick shout out to Mike Calderbank, one of the newer Patreons, the only place where you can watch this live. Thank you to Mike and all of my Patreons for supporting and contributing to the independent channel that is E4 Electric. Thank you so much. If you want to join, you can go to patreon.com/E4Electric. The link is also in the description of this video.